This Butler Wash Ruins has 1, 2, 3, down there on the end, the square kiva. 4 kivas. So they were storing a lot of water. Then there's a few what appear to be grain storage bins in the back, and actually some very small living quarters for 4 or 5 people maybe. This is an example of a number of kivas right here. You can see it's built on bedrock to keep the water in, of course, and you can see it has waterproof sealant coating still left on there. As it gets exposed to the elements, it gives away. This is a thing they call a vent, which is really the water entrance feature. And we'll see more of that. You notice we see charcoal around the kivas, which would think that people are building fires and stuff. You can see charcoal and even a piece of a corn cob in there. But this is a water entrance feature to the next door kiva. And it has a deflector plate in this one I'll show you in a minute. This is looking down into the inlet port. I'm standing in it. That's where the water came in. Went through the charcoal filter, hit the deflector plate, and kept stirring up the mud in the nearby kiva. Here we got the kiva built on bedrock, of course, to seal it up. You can see the high quality plaster work. There's 2 levels. The stuff with the pine tar probably is that black stuff. Here's a hole in the center of the kiva, probably to support the roof. I believe they sealed the kivas. Here's another water entry or exit feature. Sometimes these kivas were hooked together. Now, the one thing that amazes me are these pillars, pilasters or whatever, that are evenly spaced around above the water line. And I'm not really sure what they were for. I'd like to figure that out. Here's another view of the water deflector. Keep from stirring up the mud so they can get the cleanest water over on this side where the ground is hard. And I'm going to walk back up. Here's another deflector, you see. And this was all probably filled with charcoal to filter the water. And it comes out, and this leads to the overhang of the cave that we're in. And the water came down probably with a flume into this inlet. This kiva has its water inlet. Notice it wasn't a fireplace because it has a wooden cross member holding the roof of it up. And you can see bits of charcoal still in there. And pieces of charcoal that's spewed out. This is a more weathered kiva. Plaster didn't hold up as well in here. But you can still see it was built on bedrock in part of the area. You can make sure it was sealed up. And there are those oddball structures on top, which are either structural or had some other purpose. And right next to those round kivas, we have a square kiva. It too has plaster left over in the corner that's most sheltered. It has a water inlet system over there. And in the corner you can see it. Either inlet or exit. I'd say inlet. But you can see they weren't stuck on just doing round kivas. This square kiva has a very excellent inlet structure. The diverter plate got broke off, but you can see it's covered with wood, so it's not a fireplace, that's for sure. It's got bits of charcoal all around, and right up here is the entrance structure, where they either poured the water in or flumed it in. Here's something I've seen before. See the black? It looks like the sealant plaster was plastered up above the what I consider the water line, which is the circular part down there. But I've seen that before, and I don't understand why they plastered up that far. And of course, I don't know what those vertical structures are, the keyways. That looks like a movable valve plate inside this entrance structure. And that's that hole is going over towards the next door kiva. If we come up and look down here, you see how that valve plate sits in there. They can shut off the water between these two kivas. Would you like to know what those vertical block structures are? There's the inlet. They seem to be spaced evenly about the kivas. You can see that one way over there. There's it too. One idea for these bench-like structures is that the top of those pillars supported the roof, and then people could get in there, and maybe they raised algae or something, and they flipped the algae off the top of the water onto those benches to dry. Could that be algae farming?